Thank you so much for connecting with us. I work for the admissions department. So as you can imagine, I get a lot of questions. It'll be a good chance for the best person at the school to answer those.
Hi everyone, my name is Justina McMillan and I'm the IB Diploma Coordinator at ISB. That's one of my many roles, but it's a very important one. I'm very thrilled to be the liaison essentially between the IB as an organization and the IB here at ISB.
We have a lot of families in transition, people are moving around, and it's good to have good information about sort of what to expect with the IB diploma when you're choosing a school. And so one question that's come up a lot for families is, if your child has started the IB somewhere else, could they transfer to our school?
I mean, the great news about the IB diploma, and this is not just at ISB, is that it is international. So it is a diploma or a curriculum that is easily transferable from school to school. And we do have students that come in at various stages of the 2-year program. Sometimes it's at the end of grade 11, sometimes it's even, midway through grade 12. So that is always a possibility. Now, where you encounter challenges is to make sure that that transfer is as seamless as possible. And that would mean making sure that we offer the same subjects that the student was already studying at their previous school. We do have a very wide subject offering as an IB diploma school. So we have rarely encountered problems with students transferring and not being able to find the same subject. The coordinators between the two schools, we work very closely together when the student is transferring to make sure that we understand what the student has done in their previous school, so that by the time they arrive, the teachers here know the preparation and also have been in communication with the student to be able to effectively make that transfer as easy as possible.
Wonderful. And just one follow-up with that, is that the same case for bilingual diploma students?
So bilingual diploma students, it depends what language they're coming in. Again, as a school, ISB is very proud that we offer a wide variety of different languages at language A. So if the student's coming in with, let's say, Korean, Japanese, French, Spanish, they can continue in those languages as a language A student. We do also offer and support students in the self-taught program, which is the SSSD. So we can also make sure that if a student's coming in from countries, say like Norway or Sweden, that they can continue to have that language here as a self-taught student. So yes, we can help support students in a variety of different languages to ensure that they come out with a bilingual diploma.
Awesome, that's great. So now I also want to sort of talk about how the IB diploma at ISB was affected, during the last year. And so one question that we get asked a lot is, what sort of changes we had to go through as a school to make sure that kids can, graduate and take the IB diploma?
So obviously COVID impacted schools all around the world, and the IB as an international organization was actually very quick to respond to the concerns that they were hearing from schools around the world. And we were a school that also talked to the IB on a regular basis in terms of how we were unable to effectively prepare students in the normal sort of setting. So the IB then made a very quick decision last year to remove some of the assessment components for the final exams that IB students need to sit, or they also removed some of the curriculum content. For example, some of the options that exist in all of the subjects, maybe those were removed or the curriculum content was cut down, just to ensure that teachers and students were able to have the time to prepare as effectively as possible, possibly in challenging circumstances as they're transferring into virtual learning, or maybe they don't have access to the science labs to be able to conduct the science experiments, etc. And schools have been working individually as well with the IB to make sure that the IB is aware of particular challenges that the school has in delivering the content to ensure that effective preparation for the subjects for the IB exams is happening. The time that we have had in virtual school, our teachers now, this is their third go around it, and they've really been able to adapt very quickly to change the situation of how they teach, making sure that the teaching strategies are appropriate in a virtual environment, shifting curriculum timelines, that might suit the virtual setting as opposed to sort of the face-to-face on-campus setting with the lab works, for example, or even in some cases resorting to virtual reality to try and replicate some of the experiences that students might miss in a virtual setting. So I think we've all had a huge learning curve. Our teachers have definitely become great experts at being able to effectively prepare students for those exams and the assessments in a virtual setting.
Exams have now not taken place 2 years in a row. So how has that happened to evaluate students, and how does that affect college applications, or does it?
So last year in May 2020, the exams were cancelled worldwide, and that was unprecedented for the IB. It was the first time it's ever happened. And I think that experience and the results, how they were issued, the IB really learned quite valuable lessons and had some takeaways about if that were to happen, then what could be changed. The IB actually runs 2 exam sessions, one's in May and one's in November. And in November 2020, they actually had a dual assessment model where some schools ran exams where they were able to administer them effectively, and some schools were on the non-exam route because they were just not able to administer those effectively. So this year, we here at ISB, we are on the non-exam route because we are finishing the year in a virtual setting, so we could not administer the exams. So that means that students on the non-exam route are assessed based on all coursework components that they have submitted. So every single subject has at least one piece of coursework that the students have been working on that is a good demonstration of their achievement in that particular subject. And then the rest of the grade for that subject comes from the predicted grade. And the predicted grades were actually given to the school by the IB based on a 3-year data collection where they've analyzed the IB results for each particular subject to each school, and then given the school an allocation of the range of grades that our students normally achieve in those subjects. And then teachers using in-house assessment data were then able to determine the most effective predicted grade for those particular students.
One final question to go along with it, like, is the IB still the best way, or one of the best ways forward for kids before they head out to college?
But the IB program is a highly accessible program that really does suit a variety of different learners. And I think even despite the COVID pandemic and the fact that potentially the exams might not happen at the end of this 2-year program, this is a 2-year program where students get to explore their passions, subjects they're really interested in, get to do lots of critical thinking through the courses such as TOK. And I still think it's a great program and a learning experience for them, even if they don't end up having that high stakes test at the end, which the IB is quite well known for. So yes, I would encourage students to look into this as an option and go for it, because it's a great program over 2 years.
Wonderful. Well, I myself, I did the diploma, so I can speak for hours about the wonderful, like you said, it is a 2-year journey, and it's not just about those last 3-4 weeks that you take away with you way more than just a grade at the end, which is just that's definitely my takeaway from it all. But yeah, just thanks so much for your time. Thanks for giving such great answers. But again, thanks so much for your time. Bye.